Hey, welcome everyone. Glad you could join me. This is going to be a really interesting show today. Yeah, it is. Today, October 25th, 2023. My name's Tom Coffee. This is the Coffee and Nuance Show. We're on all the socials at Coffee and Nuance. We are streaming live, especially on Rumble, rumble.com/coffee and nuance/live. Just bookmark it. And you can just go there, and you're really going to want to do that for the news that I have for you coming up. But first, let's get to the monologue today. We're going to talk about loneliness because there were some studies on that that just came out recently. So, yeah, let's get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, gather round. Gather round. Because we've got some fascinating and frankly slightly depressing news to talk about today. You know, they say you're never really alone with the internet or a TV, but as it turns out, a whole bunch of people around the world feel lonely despite that. Now, I'm not one to make light of someone's loneliness, but when a survey tells us that almost 1 in 4 adults globally are feeling lonely, we just got to crack a couple jokes to keep from feeling too down about it. So this Meta Gallup survey, I think they should have gone for a catchier name like the World Loneliness Tour or something. They found that 24% of people aged 15 and up said they feel pretty damn lonely. That's like, sorry Netflix, but even your endless binge watching options, they're not cutting it. But here's the real kicker. The younger folks, the Instagram generation, the TikTok crowd, they're leading the loneliness pack. 27% of those aged 19 to 29 are lonely, and I get it. They're swiping left and right, dealing with FOMO, and can't even find time to look up from their screens and say hello to an actual human being. But and then you got the seasoned seniors, age 65 and up. Only 17% of them are lonely, and not that much different than the kids. But you see, as you age, you gather wisdom. You also gather more friends, the ones who remember your birthday, even when Facebook doesn't. They're out there living their best life, retired, sipping Mai Tais, and laughing at the rest of us who are still trying to figure out the latest app update. Now, here's a fun tidbit. Seems like some countries have more lonely ladies, while other countries, the guys are the ones feeling the loneliness. It's like a global game of emotional seesaw, and I'm wondering if it's something in the water or a preference for different types of companionship. Perhaps we could have a foreign exchange, but not just for students, but for all ages. But hey, folks, we got to take this survey seriously. Loneliness isn't just about feeling blue. It's been linked to all sorts of health problems. It's like a silent pandemic right under our noses, and the cure might be as simple as turning off Netflix and going out for a cup of coffee with a friend. In the end, we got to remember that human beings need social connections to thrive. So let's stop scrolling through our social media feeds, share a few laughs with friends, and give those thumbs a break. Because remember, as they say, loneliness is a disease best cured by friends and laughter, or at least that's what I'm trying to do today. My name's Tom Coffee. This is the Coffee Nuance Show, best censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. Oh, loneliness. Epidemic. And you are going to want to stick around because I got some pretty exciting news to get to today. Yeah, but so this is from CNN. Let me see if I can put this up. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Just to show you. Let's try that. Just while I give you a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Synopsis of this story. A Meta Gallup survey across 142 countries finds that roughly 1 in 4 adults worldwide feel lonely. Loneliness is the most common in young adults and least prevalent in those 65 and older. The study highlights that loneliness affects all age groups, not just older individuals. It's essential to combat loneliness through social connections, active use of social media, and engaging with others in daily life. So this is the article, and it really got me thinking about what the heck can we do about this. I think probably the pandemic made things a lot worse. We've lost a lot of social connections over lockdowns, and a lot of us kind of forgot how to be social, right? But here's some recommendations to help you feel a little less lonely. Okay. Work on your social connections. So make an effort to connect with friends, family, acquaintances regularly, right? You can join clubs, organizations that align with your interests. And that gives you a chance to meet like-minded people. I've tried to do this. It's okay. I go to a couple things I go to some Bitcoin stuff. And that's good. I like all the people there, and I play pickleball every Monday night. So that's been pretty good. Meet some like-minded, nice people. We can also attend social events, parties, gatherings. Something else you can do is volunteer. I'm all for volunteering. In fact, for many years, I volunteered at several different places. I did a lot of volunteering in the arts here in Portland. I do the International Film Festival every year. I think I've done that about 12 years now in a row. And just some different art events and different technology organizations. So that's pretty good. Volunteering, you can give back to the community, and you can meet new people, perhaps. I've met a couple people through volunteering, so that's good. Online communities, so you can participate in online forums, social groups related to your hobbies or interests, such as, this channel. It's a good way to connect with some other people, engage in discussions about what's happening. Exercise. Now, here's the thing, and I've said this a million times, and hang on a sec. There we go. Just wanted to make sure that we were live on everywhere. I've said this so many times, but physical activity can boost your mood, provides opportunities to meet people through fitness classes, sports, and group activities. I teach group fitness. That's what I do. That's my main job, is teaching group fitness. And it's great. If you've never done it, I wish I didn't wait until middle age to take my first group fitness class. I just happened to be at the gym, and I was walking by, and there were some ladies. They were like, come here, come here. I was like, what? And they're like, we need a man in our class. I was like, all right, what's the class? And they're like, oh, we're doing Zumba. And I'm like, I didn't even know what that was, right? And they're like, oh, we just dance and have fun. And I was like, I can do that. And then I've been doing it ever since, right? Teaching different dance, fitness classes, things like that. But it really is a great way to meet people and not feel as lonely. And in the end, if you work out, you are just going to feel a little bit more optimistic about things. So you can take classes, workshops, painting, dancing, all kinds of community ed classes. Sign up for something like that. I was actually looking into taking an Ableton class, which is a music production class. The one I wanted to was actually at the exact same time as my pickleball class. So I'll see what happens with that. You can also try working on your current relationships. So you can strengthen these by reaching out to your friends and family, people that you haven't connected with in a while. Give that a shot. It's tough when you get blown off. I know. It's real disheartening when that happens, but make the effort, just make the effort to do that. Then there's therapy and counseling, because there might be something a little deeper that you need to work out. And I find that counseling, I do counseling twice a month. And it's been really good for me. And it really helps you kind of work some things out. And you're able to share things that you might not be able to share with your friend, right? Or your spouse. Meditation, mindfulness. I've heard about those things. I've tried those things. I haven't been really successful with mindfulness and meditation, but I've heard all kinds of good things. So not everything works for everyone. You can get a pet. That works. At the very least, my dog makes me, go out once or twice a day to walk her, So then you get a little exercise too. Something else is you should try to limit your scrolling on social media, as I'm saying this on some social media. But you want to avoid just endlessly scrolling. Doom scrolling is what they call it. Because if you do this excessively, and if you're just being passive about it, you can feel more isolated than you did beforehand. So if you can engage actively, have a real conversation, that can also be a benefit for loneliness. And lastly, be kind to yourself. Loneliness is a common feeling. It's okay to experience it from time to time. Practice self-compassion can really help you cope better. So yeah, if you're not going to give yourself a break, who is, right? So just give yourself a break on that. So that is the main thing I wanted to talk about today. But I have something else that's even bigger than that. Let me tell you about it now. That's right. I am now part of the Rumble Small Creator Program, partnership program. Apparently, I got an email about this, and I don't check my email every day. So I read it yesterday, and I was like, oh, it starts today. Oh, my goodness. So I didn't start yesterday. I'm starting right now. But this is a good deal. They are encouraging me in this program to stream 2 hours, 5 days a week. And I'm up for the challenge. So that is what I'm going to do. Last night, as I was trying to put together today's show, I was like, well, I could just have twice as many stories, twice as much good news. I can make 2 monologues. I don't know if I can do this for 2 hours. It's a lot to do, and it's a lot to ask of people, to watch that much. So I think I'm finally going to do what I threatened to do with the writer's strike at the beginning of summer, and that is I am going to have a second show. It's going to be on the same channel at night, and I'm going to try to do a bit less newsy stuff, a bit more of a comedy talk show type of thing. I haven't really had a whole lot of time to prepare to do that, but I think, what the heck? Why not give it a shot? I've been writing these monologues for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months now. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting okay writing these monologues and coming up with some bad jokes. So, why not take it to the next level? So I'm going to be doing a show. It's going to be at night. Might be too late for you. You can watch it the next day. That show's going to be on Rumble. Same channel. Rumble.com/Coffee and Nuance. I think I'm going to try doing it at 9 p.m. on the West Coast, which is going to be midnight on the East Coast. That might be too late for a lot of people. But I got to I'm just going to give it a shot to see what it's like. being part of this new small creator program. Hopefully, that will get me some more promotion. I don't know what's going to come of it, but perhaps Rumble is on the lookout for small creators that are just killing it to promote on their platform. Who knows? I don't know. Or maybe it's a gimmick. I have no idea, right? I have no idea. But I'm up for the challenge, so I'm going to start doing this. And I guess my first one will be tonight. I still don't have a name for the show. It's really hard to name things in 2023, current year. It's hard to come up with a name because everything's taken, right? You want to have the Twitter handle. You want to have, that's important to have a handle for the same name as your show. So I was thinking like Coffee After Dark. Yeah, that's already taken. Midnight Coffee. That's already taken. Late Night Coffee. That's already taken. If you have ideas, you can help me out. There's something called Namecheck, NAMECHK.com. And that's where you can put in different ideas and see if someone already owns the .com and the Twitter handle and the X handle, right? And if there's already people using that name, I just haven't come up with one. So I guess I gotta figure that out. I gotta come up with a name. I gotta come up with a format. Gotta come up with stuff I'm gonna talk about. Oh my God, this is gonna be a lot of work. But I'm up for it. What the heck? What's the worst I can do? Get 4 viewers, right? So yeah, my first live streaming Coffee After Dark or whatever I happen to name it will be tonight, right here on this channel, 9 p.m. West Coast, midnight on the East. And, come check it out. Give me some encouragement. And you can see what I can put together in a couple of hours. Doing something I've never done before. But it's going to be exciting, and I'm really excited about it. So I just wanted to share that with you. So I hope to see you there. And is it going to be on YouTube or only on Rumble? Well, here's the thing, right? I really want this is a Rumble program. And so I'm really trying to push Rumble to get more viewers on Rumble, to get more engagement on Rumble. So that would be the preferred place for the show. But, and I think I can stream it to other places as well. I haven't really even checked the fine print. So, but the first show I'm going to put it out the normal places that I put it out. But the idea is to get people more involved with Rumble, and that's what I'm trying to do with this new show. So I hope to see you over there on tonight. And if you're watching now live on Rumble, you can do me a favor and smash the like button and leave a comment. I will be in the after show after I go through all my stories today. I'll be reading your comments live on both YouTube and Rumble. So please leave a comment. And if you got ideas for the name for a show, hey, I'm all ears because I don't have one yet. I need to come up with something. Got lots of ideas. But anyway, we got a lot of interesting news stories to get to today. So now this is a Northwest story, but I think you're going to like it. Yeah. Well, folks, did you hear about this off-duty pilot who tried to shut off the engines mid-flight after taking magic mushrooms? I mean, talk about a bad trip. I guess he was really flying high, or at least trying to, but hey, who hasn't felt the urge to turn off the engines and escape from their problems. Am I right? So, yeah, here we go. Let's see. So, and just as a reminder, all of the articles that I talk about today will be in the comment. Links to archived versions of the articles will be in the comments. So you can, I give you a summary of what they say, but you can check for yourself. Right? But an off-duty pilot, Joseph David Emerson, nice name, is facing 83 attempted murder charges for attempting to shut off a plane's engines mid-flight, admitting to taking psychedelic mushrooms 2 days before the incident. While riding in the cockpit as an authorized occupant, he tried to disrupt the engines, but his attempt was unsuccessful. He appeared in court and pleaded not guilty to the charges. Emerson reportedly told officers he'd been having nervous breakdown, hadn't slept in 40 hours, and felt dehydrated and tired. He admitted to pulling the fire suppression system handles because he believed he was dreaming and he wanted to wake up. His actions posed a serious threat to the aircraft, but didn't lead to a catastrophic outcome. The state is seeking to hold him without bail, and he's also facing federal charges for interfering with flight crew members and attendants. So, yikes. That would be scary. You know how in, when you're flying, sometimes pilots, flight attendants, they will be, they get to ride up front, or they get to ride in one of the jumper seats or something like that. A lot of times they get free trips if you're working, and it's like, oh, you're in Chicago, but they need you to fly someone from, I don't know, Des Moines to Denver or something. You go on hop on a plane and you get to the place where you need to start work, right? But, wow. Now, I have to, I'm letting the conspiratorial part of my mind just work here, because we've heard a lot about these psychedelic mushrooms, and that they could be a cure for lots of things, depression and all kinds of things. Supposedly can be cured with these psychedelic mushrooms. And here in Oregon, we're about to be able to buy it. Right? It's been legalized in the state, and I think the state has approved a couple places to open. And so it's just about to become, that I can walk in and buy some here in Oregon. And, the part of my brain is thinking like, boy, Big Pharma probably doesn't like that. They probably want to do anything they can to make sure that psychedelic mushrooms don't take off, that people don't start using them instead of taking their drugs that they're making billions of dollars on, right? So we need an incident. We need something to really make people think differently about these psychedelic mushrooms. I know we can stage something on a flight. We can pay this guy to do it. I'm not saying I have any evidence of this happening whatsoever. In fact, I'm just making it up. But it wouldn't be a bad deal, would it? I mean, and maybe the feds could be in on it too. They want to do something to curtail this. They couldn't do it legally, so they make this up. Now, I'm not saying they made this up. It could have happened exactly as it's reported. Although, how many times is the news exactly what they say it is? Not very often, right? But again, I'm just making this up. But it does make me wonder. Because this would align with what Big Pharma would want, wouldn't it? I mean, it would totally align with what Big Pharma would want. They don't want you. They don't want people using psychedelic mushrooms. They'd rather have them take all their expensive drugs. that they can overcharge and get the insurance companies to pony up, right? So it's just an idea. Again, could be exactly as the news is reporting. But I thought it was really interesting. And it happened here on Alaska Airlines. I think, if I remember correctly, I think they, had to make an emergency landing in Portland to deal with it. So I've heard a lot about it. And the story that I brought to you was from a local KATU ABC here in Portland. So it was exciting stuff. All right. I guess we got to do a little something in the Middle East, but with my own take on it. So, looks like I have the Chiron from yesterday. What is up with that? See if I can. Oh, well. Well, that doesn't look good either. All right. We'll just we'll clear that for now. Folks, you hear about this 85-year-old Israeli grandma held hostage by Hamas. She said, "I went through hell." Now, I don't want to be cynical, but isn't that just what grandmas do? Back in my day, we had to walk through tunnels uphill both ways, and terrorists were polite. They were so polite, they would offer us tea and cookies. Yeah, you try writing a joke about this kind of stuff. So, anyway, here we go. 85-year-old Israeli grandmother, Yocheved Lifshitz, shared her experience of being kidnapped by Hamas. She was taken into a tunnel system in Gaza. Yikes. With other hostages living in what she described as a vast network of tunnels. Despite her captivity, she said Hamas treated her group well. Talks to secure the release of over 200 hostages are ongoing, with Israeli airstrikes and absence of ceasefire complicating matters. The families of the hostages are eager for their loved ones to be freed. So, I've heard people talk about this and using this as some kind of proof about things. There's, some people that are kind of like pro-Palestine are saying, "Oh, see, look, they treated the hostages well." It's like, you cannot judge anything in the fog of war. You can't do it because you really have incomplete information. And in this case, right, if she came out and she was with other people and she wants those other people to come out alive, she's going to say nice things about the captors, right? Like, that's the only logical thing. You're not going to come out and say, "Oh, these a-holes, what they did to me was horrific." You're not going to want to say anything that would make them, that would jeopardize the safety of the people that are still being held. Okay? So if you hear a pundit saying that because this hostage that was released says that she was treated well, and that's like evidence that somehow Hamas is like really good on the human rights or whatever front, you're a fool. You're a total sucker. This is propaganda. Now, we don't know how she was treated, but just because she said that she was treated well doesn't mean that she was. The correct thing to say, no matter what happened, was that you were treated well. And you say that until everyone is free, right? That's the only logical thing. And I am beyond like confused as to why anyone would think differently. I can't imagine being so, I'm just going to say, being so dumb, right? That you think that because this grandma says she was treated well, that you know then that she was treated well? Nuh-uh. No. You have no idea. And I don't know, you don't know, nobody knows. And we can't expect to really find out what happened until the whole thing is done. Okay, until everybody is free. So I'm hoping, obviously, for the safe return of all those people that were captured. And hopefully that will be over soon. Yeah. And next up, let's keep it controversial. You know, folks, this Pfizer vaccine agreement is like a bad blind date. South Africa swiped right, and Pfizer showed up with a mystery box of who knows what. They basically said, we're in the middle of a pandemic. We've got an experimental vaccine, and by the way, we have no idea what it does in the long run, and we won't even label it. It's like inviting someone to dinner, serving them a dish without disclosing any of the ingredients. I mean, who knew Pfizer was in the let's make a deal business? It's not a vaccine, it's a really bad game show. So here's the story. Where'd it go? Here's the story. Pfizer purchaser agreement released. Reckless and insane. Now, this is, of course, a bit inflammatory. This site is... where's the site that I got this from? The source. This is essentially from a blog called the Independent Sentinel, so take that for what it is. I tried trying to find a better source. I did go and I saw some things on Twitter about it. So anyway, just keep that in mind. Kim.com revealed that South Africa signed a secret vaccine purchase agreement with Pfizer in which they admitted their lack of knowledge regarding the COVID-19 vaccine efficacy, potential adverse effects, and the absence of long-term safety research. Kim.com criticized global leaders for treating citizens as lab rats and expressed concern over people being unwitting volunteers in vaccine research. He pointed out that Big Pharma pressured governments to enforce vaccinations without adequate safety data, leaving no legal recourse for those harmed. Furthermore, he highlighted delayed disclosure of critical information about those vaccines. So this is pretty stunning stuff here. So the purchase agreement that South Africa signed with Pfizer was released. Unknown efficacy, unknown adverse effects, unknown long-term effects. And so here I want to read to you from the purchaser agreement right here. Purchaser acknowledges that the vaccine and materials related to the vaccine and their components and constituent materials are being rapidly developed due to the emergency circumstances of the COVID-19 pandemic and will continue to be studied after provision of the vaccine to purchaser under this agreement. Purchaser further acknowledges that the long-term effects and efficacy of the vaccine are not currently known and that there may be adverse effects of the vaccine that are not currently known. Further, to the extent applicable, purchaser acknowledges that the product shall not be serialized. So, that's kind of what many people thought, and it's like now we're actually getting the evidence. Here it was, South Africa signed a deal to get this shot, knowing that they didn't know the long-term effects, knowing that they didn't know if it worked or not, and they did it anyway. Do you think that this is similar to the agreement that they made with the United States government? Well, we haven't seen the agreement with the United States government, but we have seen this one in South Africa. It's probably similar. That would be my guess, but I don't know. It is interesting watching those compilations where, safe and effective, safe and effective. It's 99% effective. It's 92% effective. It's 85% effective. And it just keeps going down and down and down. I know the temptation is that when something is done that you just leave it in the past. But if we don't actually learn from these things, then it's going to keep happening over and over again, right? So that is, there we go. That's that with, that was released, and you can find that. I've left a link in the comments, so you can check that out for yourself. But next up, we got a lost land now found. Excuse me. Folks, they discovered this lost continent that broke away from Australia 155 million years ago. It's like that one friend who ghosted you for centuries, and now they're chilling at the bottom of the Indian Ocean. I guess they couldn't handle the pressure of social commitment, so they ghosted us quite literally. Maybe they just need some me time to, work on their tectonic plates or something. Yeah. Oh, man. Let's see. So this is from the Daily Mail. Scientists at Utrecht, I have no idea how to say that, university, have found evidence of a lost continent, Argoland, which separated from Australia 155 million years ago. This continent drifted to South Asia and is now submerged more than 18,000 feet below the Indian Ocean surface. Argoland's existence was previously inferred from a void in Western Australia. The research reveals how this continent broke into smaller fragments and provides insight into the formation of mountains and islands in the region. However, the study has limitations, such as uncertainties in geographical ages and complexities related to correlating data in dense vegetation and oceanic areas. So, the lost continent of Argoland, they found it. And I found this pretty interesting stuff. Now, as a reminder, when I tell you these news stories, and this is something that I get a little frustrated. Last week I did a story where I showed how Tim Pool just read the first two sentences of an article. He read the headline and the first two sentences of an article and then drew his conclusions, and he didn't actually read the whole article. Obviously, you don't want to see me read the entire article, and so what I do, I just write a summary of the article, something short, but I go through the entire thing so that I'm giving you the full picture of the story, and not just the headline, and not just the first line of the story, because I want to be more complete. And so that's the way that I do things. I wish other people would do that as well, because if I watch someone and they only read the headline and they don't read the rest of the article, and it's clear that they don't actually read it themselves, you're not really getting the story, And so, yeah. But in this case, have you ever heard of Argoland? I never heard of it before. I had no idea that there was a lost continent. They could be making all this up, But supposedly it was part of Australia, broke off, went to the bottom of the ocean. There it is now. But it used to be, you know, part of the whole landmass. You know, the Pangea. You know, back in the day, it was up on the surface, and now it's 18,000 feet below the surface. So, property would be probably pretty cheap out there. Anyway, that's it for that story. But lastly, we do need some good news. I think we've had a little good news today, but we need a little bit more good news. Yeah. You know, folks, Google's Green Light Initiative is all about making intersections greener and smarter. They're using AI to coordinate traffic lights, and it's impressive, but let me tell you, if Google can make traffic lights more efficient, maybe they can work on my internet connection, make that faster too, because we got to prioritize what really matters, right? So here's the story. Let's see. Here is the story. I'll just show this to you here. Tech optimizes traffic lights and reduces emissions. Oh, this is great. You're kidding me. You are kidding me. Crazy. Okay. Google's Green Light Initiative harnesses AI and Google Maps data to enhance intersections for the benefit of drivers, pedestrians, and the environment. It aims to address the problem of high emissions at city intersections caused by frequently stopping and starting of vehicles. Green Light uses AI to optimize traffic lights by analyzing traffic patterns and providing recommendations for more efficient light sequences. The innovation lies in its ability to coordinate multiple adjacent intersections, creating synchronized waves of green lights to improve traffic flow and reduce stop-and-go emissions. Early results suggest a potential 30% reduction in stops and a 10% reduction in emissions at intersections. So this is great news. And here's the thing. I have been talking about this idea forever. I wish back in the day I could start up a technology company, because I was always saying they have all this data and we've got these great computers. We can run simulations and we can make our traffic system more efficient. I'm in Portland, and perhaps there are worse timed intersections somewhere in the world. Perhaps. I'd have to see it to believe it, because it is terrible here. It is so bad here. There's particular intersections that at certain times, if you want to make a left-hand turn, for example, there can be nobody on the road. It can be 2 a.m. You can pull up. It's a red light. And then it turns green, but it has a red turn. And it'll be green, so you can go straight, but you're not allowed to turn left. And then it'll cycle through again to a red light. The left-hand turn is like every other cycle. Even if there's not a single car there, it's the dumbest, least efficient way of doing anything, and it drives me crazy. And I do think, but I've been saying forever, we can, if there was a centralized traffic light system that they could make updates on the fly, they could just analyze the traffic and just make it so that it's the best for everyone, right? I grew up in Albuquerque when I was a teenager, and I still remember Montgomery Boulevard. They had it timed. It was a 35-mile-an-hour street, and they had it timed for 30 miles an hour. If you drove 30 miles an hour, you could drive from one side of the city to the other side of the city without stopping, because they timed it. It was fantastic. So you could use that street and you had no red lights, and you could go 20 miles. No red lights. It was great. And then I moved here to Portland. And where I live, I need to go through 2 lights to get to a certain place. I've been in this house 10 years. I've never been able to hit both lights. Ever. I've never... If I'm at one and it turns green, I will not hit the next light when it's green. Ever. It's never happened. It's dumb. In my opinion, I think it's the people downtown. If I'm using my conspiratorial brain, I think they're just trying to mess with people that live on the outskirts of town. They're like, screw them. We're going to make it terrible for them. Because I can't think of a reason to do that. But that's the way it is. And I'm so glad that Google is pushing this, because perhaps we can get this here and we can get some better traffic systems. I think that this is fantastic news. I'd like to hear what you think in the comments. And speaking of in the comments, I'm going to be going through all your comments in the after show. Thank you for joining me today. And remember, tonight, I'm going to be going live for this Coffee After Dark, or whatever the hell I call it. So please join me then, or watch the replay on Rumble. So until then, peace. Okay, thanks everyone. Look what I'm doing here. I should always have a wired mouse attached, because for whatever reason, I just got noticed that my Apple Magic Mouse just disconnected and is not working as I was live. That's that's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, here we are in the after show. Okay. So we got Alan Durrell over there on Rumble, watching on YouTube and Rumble. So I'm glad that you're joining us on Rumble. We got a number of people watching live on Rumble. Hey, Rumble people, hit the like button. Let me know that you're not a bot. You're a real person. And that'd be super. I'd appreciate that. You can leave a message if you like. We got a lot more people talking over here on the other platform, but let's go through it. Oh, I saw this at the beginning, and this was actually soul-crushing to me to see. Tom, yesterday's book review never had sound. I feel like an idiot, and reading that right as I'm starting the show, oh man, it was crushing. Crushing, I tell you. So I guess I'm an idiot, and I didn't double check. I can't believe that I posted something without sound, but looks like I did. So that's one more thing to add to a checklist. So that should be on my checklist of when I post videos, make sure there's sound. So I guess I'll take that down, and I will repost my book review with sound. Hopefully there's sound. I think there's sound when I edited it, right? So hopefully it's still there, and I'll just reprocess it, and maybe it'll work. But I'll try to put that up as soon as I can. Okay. Loud and clear today. Good. I just heard a story on crappy children fairy that makes any loneliness I feel like look like a picnic. Well, I guess everything is relative. Yeah, I will repost the book review with sound. I feel like an idiot because I got a notice that it did really well. I was getting lots of views. So that's actually the first time in whatever hundreds of videos that I posted one without without sound. First time for everything, I guess. Eerie Fairy says, it killed my dating life because I realized that very few men are left. I volunteered at the library for their book sales. Well, you know, book sales, and perhaps you can meet some people and maybe get some good books. That's cool. They closed the library by my house, and I thought it was going to be like temporary, like, you know, oh, they're just doing some remodeling or something. They've been remodeling this thing for like 2 years. Anyway. Natasha says, I like to go for a walk in my neighborhood. I'll introduce myself to anyone who happens to also be outside. Most people are nice. A few are a little awkward, but I probably am too. Yeah, I do like that. I chat with all my neighbors when I go for a walk. Know them all. They know where I live. I know where they live. It's kind of nice to know who your neighbors are and have a chat with them. So yeah, that's something you can do. Small creators equals creatorkins. Okay. Never heard that term, but cool. Night shift. I love that idea. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm up every night. I'll watch. Oh, well, thanks, Lucid. We'll get someone there. Nice. Yay, Coffee and Nuance after hours. Yeah, I'll have to figure out what to call the thing. But yeah, YouTube or only on Rumble. I'm really hoping to promote it over there to Rumble. So you know, we'll probably put it on both, but the idea is to promote the Rumble channel. Because pretty much the YouTube channel seems to be hidden. Seems to be pretty dead. Coffee, no sugar or cream. Okay. More coffee, less nuance. Okay. Will it have a different background and wardrobe? Yeah, I need to work on all of that. Different graphics, different, I'd love to have some different music, different, everything. No, I'll probably still wear these shirts, but who knows? All right, I think the opposite would be better. Okay. I do like hold my coffee. That's good. Okay. Nuance after dark? Maybe. Decaf and nuance since at night. You know, it's funny. I can drink coffee in the evening. It doesn't affect my sleep at all. So he wasn't high, 40 hours without sleep. That's the cause, but won't get the attention. Yeah, 40 hours without sleep, I think anyone's going to be nuts. Absolutely. Thanks for catching that, Alan Durrell. Good catch there. Pilots sometimes smell like alcohol. Should always have a cozy chat with the pilot before getting on board. Yeah. You just want me to say Dickopedia again. Yeah. I don't know. Again, I've never had, apparently it didn't save when I put in my original Chiron there. So that's one more thing to add to the to-do list. Oh my goodness. I've tried fly agaric, the red mushroom with white dots. Works like a sedative and mood booster, 0 side effects, but it's widely believed to be deadly poisonous, LOL. Well, deadly poisonous is not really my thing. Not really into that. But I'm interested to see what happens with all these mushroom stuff. My dad never said either way if the hijacker was polite or rude during the unscheduled detour to Cuba. Yeah. My stepdad thinks I'm joking when I tell him to try Ivy, I guess we'll say, for his cancer. He may be hard of thinking in addition to his other health problems. It is tough, you know, with so many things. It's follow the money, right? For most things, if someone can make a ridiculous amount of money with one thing and make nothing with something else, then probably the thing that you can make a ton of money on is going to get more attention. That's just kind of how things work. And sometimes the expensive things do work better, but not always. Your mileage may vary. Yeah. You make us all more complete, Tom, like Jerry Maguire. Ah, thanks. That's nice. I've heard of Legoland. Yeah, Legoland I've heard of. Argoland. You know, I was thinking of, what was the Ben Affleck movie? Was that Argo? Was that called Argo? Yeah. AI is doing a great job censoring online content. Let's give it a try. Yeah. A lot of censoring going on. That's for sure. More efficient stoplights might reduce road rage, which would be against the depopulation agenda. Yeah, you know, the way things have been set up here in Portland, you know, like there's roads by me that used to be nice. You know, they're nice and wide. And they used to have like 2 lanes go in each direction with a lane in the middle to turn. And now they've made it 1 lane each direction and put in like a bike lane and some parking and the whole thing. You know, it's not even a straight line anymore. It used to be a nice straight line and you could just drive. It was nice and easy, but now they've made it 1 lane and they kind of make you zigzag down the thing and put up little barricades everywhere. It really feels like they're trying to make people not drive faster. And as my dad always says, it's like, oh, they're doing traffic calming. Let me tell you, anytime someone says traffic calming, that means making traffic worse. That's what it means. And it feels like that it just kind of lines up. It's like, oh, they're trying to push it so that we have our own city out here in the suburbs, a 15-minute city, if you will, because we're going to make the roads and the lights so bad that it's going to take you forever to go somewhere else. That's what it seems like. I don't know. We don't have that left turn. Let's see. We don't have that left turn every second cycle here in Estonia. We have timed streets too. They're fantastic. Yeah, that's the thing, is I know how things could be, right? That's why it makes it, like, I think if you grew up here, you wouldn't know any better. You're just like, oh, it's always been bad, right? But if you lived elsewhere, you know how good things can be, right? Oh, yeah. When I was a repo man in Cali, we carried a flashlight to blink at the light to force them to change at 2 and 3 a.m. Emergency vehicles like fire trucks have a strobe on top for that reason. Yeah, I thought you know, I could get in trouble for that. And I don't know if it triggers something, you know, so that it knows downtown, oh, this has been triggered or whatever. But I thought that'd be really good, is to get a strobe, figure out exactly what the frequency is, and you could actually make a little tube, so you had it in there and you could point it, so that way other people wouldn't see that you had the strobe going off, but you could, you know, like line it up like a light gun, if you will, to hit the little thing on top of the light to trigger it, like you were an emergency vehicle. And they've done that in a lot of heist movies too. Yeah, downtown Sac times their lights well. I'm guessing that's Sacramento. Yeah, I'll be watching tonight. Nice, thanks. Will the nighttime show also be live chat and comments on the chat afterwards? There's got to be live chat, because the amount of time that they want me streaming, I'm going to have live chat. Absolutely. Absolutely, because we got to stretch. But also, I really appreciate your feedback. I really do. That is, if I weren't getting feedback from y'all on this, I'd probably be done. I'd probably be done doing this. So, you know, that's one of the reasons that I even do this. Eerie Fairy says, I'll be there tonight. Nice. Yeah, your mouse lost its magic. Oh, look, it is back to working again. Oh, and the little back fell off. Maybe that had something to do with it. There we go. Oh, now it's back to not working. Okay. Connection lost. Thank you. Good. Eerie Fairy says, I'm subscribing after the show. Thanks. You're not an idiot, Tom. I sure hated being the bearer of bad news, though. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. And Argo. Yes, that was the name of the movie. I thought that was a good movie. I mean, I'm not sure how accurate it was. But most movies, and as we've learned, most news, not that accurate, right? Your election coverage was great. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, there's going to be another debate next week, so we'll see what we can do with that. But anyway, that's it. That's the show. I got a lot to do today. Figure out what the hell I'm going to do tonight. So I'm going to put that together, and I will. I'll see you in let's see, in 8 hours. I'll be back for my nighttime show, and we'll see how it is. Anyway, until then, have a beautiful day. Peace.